Anyone want to make some natto? It does take a few days, so let's get started. If you're new to natto, it's a fermented soybean dish commonly eaten for breakfast in Japan. It has a fairly strong smell and a slimy, mucilaginous texture, but the flavor is mild and quite tasty. Store-bought natto is made with soybeans, and it usually comes in styrofoam, which I don't love. Additionally, it comes with a seasoning packet, which a lot of the time isn't vegan. Get out your label reading glasses if you're an aging millennial like me. But if you want to make your own natto, here's what you'll need. The ingredients are half a pound of dried beans, any beans, and then either a natto starter or some frozen natto. I'll be using frozen natto today as it's easier to come by. You'll also need some tools. Make sure that they're all clean and sterilized. An Instant Pot, yogurt maker, or something else that can maintain a steady temperature around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. A method for steaming your beans, I'm going to be using an Instant Pot and this mesh strainer. A large glass or ceramic vessel to ferment your natto in. Make sure that it fits in your Instant Pot. A good old mixing bowl and a spatula. Small freezer-friendly containers for storage. And then some plastic wrap or cheesecloth. Get started, soak your beans overnight, and then steam them until they're soft. I steamed them for about 2.5 hours, but I should have cooked them a little longer. You want them smooshable, but not smooshed. Once your beans are cooked and cooled, you can place them in your mixing bowl and gently fold in a heaping tablespoon of natto. If you're using natto starter instead, about half a teaspoon should do it. Once the starter or natto is mixed in well, add your beans to the fermentation container. You want to make sure that the container is wide enough that your bean layer is less than 1 inch or 2 thick. Cover with plastic wrap on the surface of the beans and perforate to allow airflow. Place in your Instant Pot at the low yogurt temperature, which is around 100 degrees, for 24 hours. After that, set in the fridge for about 12 hours before it's ready to taste. I'm just going to add the tiniest amount of soy sauce. That was more than I meant. Give it a stir. Yeah, that was definitely too much soy sauce, but that's fine. That is tasty. I love natto, I really do. It has a really lovely, mild bean-like flavor, and even though it has kind of a strong smell, that doesn't really come through too much in the taste. I really like using the different bean in this natto. What bean did I use again? 1 second. I'm gonna go look. The yellow eye bean. It has like a really nice, just nutty flavor almost. It's a little more nutty than the soybeans. And of course, a bigger bean. And you know, I love soybean natto, but variety is the spice of life. So I love getting that different bean in there. I do think I should have cooked my beans a little bit longer. They're not horrible, but they have a little bit of a bite to them, and I think with natto, you really want a creamy bean to go with the sort of mucilaginous, slimy texture. But I'm still quite pleased with it. It will be gone soon, I'm sure. My final step for this recipe is going to be to divvy it up into these little 1-cup containers, and then I'll store those in the freezer until I'm ready to eat them. You want to take them out of the freezer about 12 hours in advance and just chuck them in the fridge, and then let them defrost so they're ready for you to enjoy. But if you thought I only made one natto, you would be wrong. I also have a secret surprise natto. There we go. Surprise natto. It's a little less slimy looking than the other one, which might make sense because I don't think I did it on the ideal substrate. I decided to get really creative here and I went with hominy. That is dried corn, not a bean at all. So let me portion some up and let's do a taste. So soy sauce, along with stirring, can activate the sliminess of your natto. With this one, I'm not really getting the same almost like cheese pull like sliminess, but it is quite thick and there definitely is a slimy goo that's holding it together. All right, taste. Huh. Not gonna lie, I don't think that's great. It kind of tastes like a wet corn tortilla, you know? It's not bad, but I don't think I've ever looked at a corn tortilla and thought, I wish that was wet. Like, I wish my corn tortilla was slightly soggy. The texture is just a bit chalky, along with the slimy. Honestly, it is not the best. It does make me really want to experiment with more different types of natto though, because this is such a different experience from soybean natto. It still definitely has the sliminess and some of the flavor from natto, but it just mixes with the hominy in such an interesting way. Interesting, and in my opinion, not that good, but still interesting, you know, like, fascinating. How many other weird nattos are there out there yet to be explored? I mean, the possibilities are endless. And we're done, my lovelies. Thank you so much for making natto with me today. To summarize, make natto, make your own natto. It's delicious, it's delightful. There's so many things you can explore. I don't highly recommend hominy natto, but yellow-eyed bean natto, delicious. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see when we post in the future. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.